Hello everyone, today we have an updated take on a She-Hulk, Clutter, or Junk deck. And I really enjoyed the Clutter, the Junk decks, but the Debris has always felt like the biggest area of opportunity, because if you get Debris down, if the opponent's running Killmonger, you almost just always lose. And that's really tough to deal with. You could always get some advantage in the rocks that are on the board because your cards can absorb energy like Sunspot. You could drop a She-Hulk after the fact, you could use Viper. But if they have Killmonger, then you're just wasting a turn, you're wasting a draw, and you're wasting so much space that it's really hard to overpower them at that point. And so this deck is an even more so mixture between the She-Naut, which is the She-Hulk and Infinaut line, and the Junk deck. It takes out the Debris, but it keeps in the Viper, the Hood, the Green Goblin, the Titania, which are all great ways to cap out one location. So that is what we're wanting to do with this deck, is try to stop the opponent and capitalize on blocking out one lane while we focus on overpowering or outmaneuvering another. Now, one small note is we're seeing a lot of the Silk Movement Craven deck, and this one does okay against it. It definitely can hold its own power-wise, but it becomes harder to use your Titania because the Silk is always bouncing. It's hard to really lock in a location, but it can still be done. You just have to do it a little bit more strategically. Maybe you just don't lock them out of a location and you just leverage your higher power plays instead. But we're going to be jumping into a couple of games. Thank you guys for the support on the last video. We are still climbing in subscribers. We blasted past 38,000. We are on our way to 39,000, and then the next major channel milestone of 40,000 is right around the corner. Thank you guys for the continued support. We're going to be jumping into a couple of games. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys are enjoying the widescreen launch of Marvel Snap. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple of games. I hope you guys enjoy. That is a different story entirely. They could also go with a Valkyrie, but I'm not sure that Valkyrie is the line that they want to go with. So we can actually do something kind of snazzy here, and we can cap out this Limbo location. We're going to use Viper to send magic. It's 2 power. I'm okay losing 2 power. We're going to send Titania their way as well. We'll be able to just kind of float around until we want to recall it back. Now, the only potential issue is we don't have the cheap She-Hulk. We don't have the She-Hulk like we would want. They go with Viper. It does thankfully send the Hood. Whew. They use Spider-Ham once again, unfortunately. It still hits our pig, which is just fine. We're going to cap out this location. We're not sending the Titania over, so we don't need that extra reach to recall it back. We have this lane very handily handled. They could be aiming to do a Valkyrie here. And so I think we're going to skip this turn into maybe a Cosmo, or we have Shang-Chi in the left lane, and that takes away a lot of their upside as well. Let's go ahead and do Shang-Chi in the left lane. We're going to take that big benefit away from them over there. They could have, I guess, maybe Destroyer. This looks like the version, a version of the Sentry. I guess Stature is kind of strange here. Black Bolt could take care of our Cosmo. No, they have Captain Marvel, okay? Captain Marvel's decent. This lane, they did try to cap it out early. I do wish we would have skipped for the Infinaut now, though. If they have Valkyrie and a 1-cost card, then this is a tough lane. I'm going to do Pig and hope that Valkyrie is really the only thing they can do in this lane. They don't have a 1-cost to lean in on. That way, if Captain Marvel moves, she will lose. And we do get the retreat from John Bond. It was like I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but it feels like every single one of our Conquest runs since the PC launch has been a little bit tougher than normal. And I think that's largely because there's a larger player base, there's more active people, there's more people playing actively, plus Silk got introduced into the caches, which is always nice to see. And so a lot more people can build that deck that was very, very strong and is pretty strong. But it's all over the place, so I'm not featuring it here, but a Craven Silk Movement deck. I did a version as soon as Silk came out, and then evolved it with Spider-Man, and then now it's even more so all over the place. But I definitely think it is worth running if you have the components that are needed. I'm going to go ahead and do Goblin in the left lane. We have Viper to take out the negative Hood that we're going to get from Oscorp Tower, so we'll send it back to them eventually. But Green Goblin, if we can try to get them capped out in New York, then they won't have the freedom to move the cards like they would want to. I did forget about Eternity Range giving us a rock, so we are going to get a rock here. They do go ahead and play their Viper and Demon, so that's a big push in the Eternity Range. I assume that they're assuming that eventually they will be able to move some or all of those resources into New York. And we want to make sure that that can't happen. So we're going to do Magic, because we do believe in Magic. We're going to do magic. We're going to do sunspot. I'm going to do magic. I'm going to do sunspot into the middle location. That way we could still potentially cap out this left lane with like a Viper into a Titania, potentially. Could give us some really good reach. Sending that magic back their way, bouncing Titania if we get something small or low cost here could be nice. But if not, okay, so the hood. We don't have She-Hulk in hand, so I am going to play this a little slower than normal. We're going to use Viper. We're going to hold the Titania for now. Soak a little bit with Sunspot. They could potentially... Oh, we lose our Titania. That's unfortunate. With the Black Bolt, we lose our Titania. Viper does target the magic instead, so we do keep both negative hoods on our side of the board. We're not going to be able to clear them. That is just kind of part of it. So we're going to skip here, hope that they don't have a lane change mechanism. They might, but we're hoping that they don't. Sunspot will absorb here. Next turn is looking like an Infinaut. Oof. Okay. So the negative void in the right lane, depending on if they can take it out or not, they definitely have initiative. So a Carnage here, maybe their line. This brings us up to 3. This brings them down to 1. But Captain Marvel, even if we clear this location, Captain Marvel can rove over. And that is what we are afraid of. Ooh, they could do Valkyrie and Stature. Valkyrie Stature would be kind of scary, right? We'll watch it play out. I think, wow, that's 3 cards. So Stature. Enchantress. We still lose. It was for 2 because John Bond didn't snap. And so instead of running like the Korg Disruption package, they're running some big cards in like the Zabu, the Sentry, Enchantress, Captain Marvel, which is kind of an interesting take on it. And so let's see if we can hold this one down, maybe. Kiln, we might change with magic. We could also try to get stuff pushed over there from Strange Academy. Let's go Sunspot for now. If it looks like we're going to have a pretty distinct advantage in Kiln, it might be that we end up doing magic into Strange Academy instead. We get She-Hulk here. Let's go Green Goblin. Next turn we can go magic. And then if we draw Legion, the She-Hulk Legion line is one of my favorite at surprising the opponent into bigger cube games than they were anticipating. All right, we do have Cosmo, so we can always stop the right lane from being big. So if they're wanting to do a Sentry and Viper, if they're wanting to do a Carnage, which they may not have a Carnage. They only have 1 unrevealed card, and it may be Chavez. It may, I don't know. Chavez, Hawk wouldn't make sense in this regard. I'd be interested to see what it is, though. And so they do go Sentry in the left lane. Shang-Chi can always win us this location pretty easily. So let's go Cosmo. We'll do Cosmo and Armor. I think the middle location is very easily ours, especially since we plan on skipping next turn. So if they're wanting to Viper this over, no such luck, my friend. We are going to stop you dead in your tracks with the Cosmo, making it a little more difficult. So that's the reason I have such a hard time leading on the Viper Void play. I would much rather fill up the location first and then do Sentry, play Cosmo first, and then play Sentry behind the Cosmo. But this gets very inconsistent very quickly. We can always Legion. I guess we could Legion Limbo, but that's doesn't benefit us in any way. We can skip here. Shang-Chi is going to be... yeah, we lose our Titania. That's fine. We'll be able to do Shang-Chi and She-Hulk. Maybe we do She-Hulk and... No. Okay, we don't draw Infinaut. So we have the Shang-Chi taking out the Sentry here. This is a big lane. I don't think they can win here. And so we're just competing for one of the other 2. If they stay here, I will honestly be surprised. Victory. Okay, so we start with our Sunspot. Sakar's going to pull into one of our cards randomly. So it could be Legion, could be Green Goblin, could be the Hood. So I'm going to go ahead and play Sunspot. I would rather that than it accidentally pull into the Demon. I want to keep that lever. It does pull into our Hood, unfortunate. They're Valkyrie, so they do have a Valkyrie hidden up their sleeve. Not anymore, but they did, and it actually helps our Hood out quite a bit. And they do go ahead and retreat here. And so it turns out that Hood was the best play, the best pull it possibly could have been. Anything else would have been hurt by that play. All right, so let's go negative Hood. We We have a Legion, so we can always turn maybe everything into Danger Room on turn number 6 if we have initiative and make the opponent's play very, very scary. Both of our hoods stick here, which is unfortunate for us. Oh, that's super unfortunate. Our Green Goblin is now a free power for them if it goes over to their side. So if we can get a Cosmo, we can hide Green Goblin behind it. But our Infinaut is trash. Our Demon is trash. Our Legion, trash. So we're going to have to rely on some top decks here. Oof, it's rough. It's a rough world for us. Hopefully our Viper sticks in Danger Room. If not, we are sending them a little bit more negativity than they gave us. They can always Valkyrie over there eventually. Murder World, can't do anything about, so we're going to skip here. I almost want to skip, or I almost want to snap into this. They go Viper as well, so send a hood right back. Hopefully their Viper's destroyed. Nice. We do get the positive flip there. We finally win the coin flip. I guess not even a coin flip. I'm not going to skip again, so we're going to go do armor. Armor into the peak. Let's go armor into Murder World. They may do a sentry this turn. And then we could armor into Murder World and we stop it dead in its tracks. Ooh, I don't know why we snapped. We don't have a great hand. I'm hoping they don't either. But the snap, honestly, I thought I was... I meant to lock in my turn. And we snapped. So, we're just going to play it off. Okay. Their pig hits our Legion. Unfortunate. But it is what it is. Get our She-Hulk. This is awful. Okay, let's skip into a free She-Hulk and something else. No, we lose our free Green Goblin. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, Cosmo comes down. We would have been able to do the free Green Goblin and profit from it. This is a little bit of a gamble. Titania could hurt us if they play a card in the peak. I'm hoping that they don't. I'm hoping that they assume that the peak is locked in and won. I don't know. Seems a bit sketchy, right? I don't know. We're gonna lock it in. I'm okay trying. It's one extra cube. They don't play for the peak, so our Titania is enough to grab that one. We have Cosmo, so if they do something cheeky over in the right lane, maybe we can still hold it out. They have a 6-power demon. No, the Enchantress does still do it though. All right, so John Bon did take the lead there. Unfortunately, the demon and their flood on the last turn was too good. We lost some of our flood possibility. Losing the Green Goblin could have been that difference maker, or would have been the difference maker in the Cosmo lane. Unfortunately, it did not work out for us. This time, we're still hopeful though. Crimson Cosmos is tough for us to play much into. We could end up doing our She-Hulk if it's free, or our Infinaut or Legion. We could also do Shang-Chi, I guess. It's not the worst for us, but it's definitely not the best. They get extra energy from the Superflow. We're going to make sure that that goes away and that stops. They get 1 turn of advantage on us. We're going to send them Green Goblin to disrupt the Superflow flow. They do get Captain Marvel down. With the extra energy, they play a 4 cost on turn 3. So big ups, big energy for them. Let's do Magic. We always have to worry about their Black Bolt taking away a Demon or Titania. So I'm actually going to hold Demon. Hope that we draw into Titania so that it's one or the other, and we have the last one to play on turn number 7. We know that they don't have any way to change locations. Sentry comes down, which is big for the Void in the right lane. I'm going to go ahead and drop our Cosmo over there on turn 5. We don't have initiative, though. Oh, no. They're going to be able to yank that away. They're going to be able to stop that before it becomes valuable. Oh, no. That's tough. It's a tough one. We're going to do Cosmo. Turn 6, we're going to skip into the She-Hulk, Infinaut. Our Demon probably gets taken away here, but they do get the Valkyrie down before I'm able to do anything. The Cosmo would have been beautiful. Unfortunately, with the initiative, we didn't quite win the left lane, and so they did take advantage. Good for them. Good. However, we have a good ending hand here. So we have the She-Hulk. We have the Infinaut. Black Bolt, so we do lose our Demon, which they are small celebrations. But we have our Titania that we drew into. We also have Shang-Chi if we wanted to try and get like super cheeky. The Shang-Chi, the She-Hulk here could give us the opportunity to do Viper Titania. Now it feels almost silly to not do Infinaut though. Infinaut, I think Infinaut is always more value here. So Infinaut, we go She-Hulk, we go Titania. This is only a 13 power swing. This is 20. So this would at least, I think, protect us from for Captain Marvel being able to move out at the very least. If not, just fully win us this lane. We'll see. We'll see. This is what we're going to lock in. The Enchantress does give them a little bump in mid. We're going to tie with the Infinaut. We should win the right lane. The middle lane, we lose by 1, but it comes down to a point differential. They can move over to the left, but it just makes them win more. We would lose. We would win mid. We win the point differential. Finally, this time it flips in our favor. We will take it. We need one more of those. All right, we took the lead by 1 bar of health there. So we both skip on 1. We have Hood and Viper. Elysium is absolutely wild. And I think we skip one more turn. We could do so many things here. But I think we skip one additional turn. With Elysium, they don't have a way to take Elysium away from us. So I think it's more beneficial for us to figure out the best way or where they're dropping their cards. That way we can do something like this. Green Goblin, Hood, and Viper all into one lane. It's a focused attack into that location. And then from there, we can figure out how to win that secondary location, hoping that they play at least one card in Elysium this turn. They might do it in Strange Academy so that it can potentially bump into Danger Room. They skip here. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So we're worried about a Valkyrie here. We're definitely worried about a Valkyrie in Elysium. But outside of that, they're very congested. Ooh, we do get our Titania. So if they don't act fast, then we are going to capitalize here. Let's go Titania. We are going to go Pig as well to send the Titania their way. We're going to keep our Demon. We might lose the Demon with their Black Bolt. It's okay. If that happens, it's fine. We have the Infinaut to lean back on. So we are going to cap out their middle location. No more chance of Valkyrie there. And we already win this location, so we don't even need to recall the Titania back onto our side. We can skip here into an Armor Infinaut in Danger Room, so we don't even need to be hard-pressed to do something or anything this turn. They don't even want to see it play the rest of the way out. We do grab a victory versus John Bond. Let's jump into the next one. All right, next up we have Kinto, and we do have Green Goblin that we'll be able to use on 2 into the Superflow. I think we're gonna snap. We're gonna BM. We're gonna turn 1 snap them. Our hand is pretty good. The She-Hulk, we can always use She-Hulk and Infinaut on turn 6 as long as we have the Superflow extra bonus. Ooh, they go ahead and snap as well. So they could have a Galactus. Galactus is trying to make a comeback with some of the destroy triggers that we have. It's still not gonna be. It's never gonna be as consistent as it once was. They have an Angela, so they could have the Craven movement style of deck as well, which is decent. It does a lot of good things, depending on if you draw your resources. It's unfortunate. So we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to call an audible here. We're gonna have to do Magic first and then Green Goblin. Otherwise, it's just gonna yank into Asher and M, and that's not what we want. And so we are gonna change this location with Magic. They do have Silk, so it is the Craven Silk movement. Kind of crazy that they snapped back with the Superflow on the board, and Silk could bounce into the Superflow. So now they don't have that extra energy that they typically want or need. Ooh, the Vault is an interesting one. And what we're likely to do here is on turn number 6, we skip on 5 into a She-Hulk and Legion on 6. That's my tentative play line here. Let's go Green Goblin. Yeah, let's go Green Goblin and Demon. If they want to move the Silk out of the Superflow, they'll have to take away that bonus by playing in that location. They have Jeff, so Silk, I think, is going to just become a sitting resource. And they don't have Craven to benefit from Silk's sporadic movement. Whenever you have the 2 in tandem, it's a beautiful thing. But since they don't have that here, I think we benefit a bit more so. I think we'll do an Armor. I'll hold the Titania for now because we don't know when or where something might cap them out. And it's also a little bit trickier to get a guaranteed Titania lock with Silk on the board because she bounces around so sporadically. Iron Fist, so a much more move-heavy package. The Dagger Kinto. What? Okay, that makes more sense. The Dagger moving here and then moving into Superflow doesn't get any bonus, so it didn't make a lot of sense until they pulled it back with Ghost Spider. This is a much more move-heavy version of the Silk build than I'm used to, and I think it's fine. They play first. We're worried about a Heimdall shift for sure. I think I'm going to do this. We still have the option or the lever to do the Legion on 6. Beast pulls all of their cards back in. That Dagger can get absurdly large, absurdly quickly. We wanted to make sure we had enough padding so if their Silk bounces into the vault, it's safe. But they didn't pull back in their Jeff, so we're looking at an Iron Fist, Dagger, Angela combo. Do they drop all of those this turn? We have initiative, so depending on how much they play here, we're going to skip. We're going to skip, see if maybe we can get a Shang-Chi trigger. That's going to be our goal. So the Spider-Man comes down, it moves the hood. We're hoping that this is not a Scarlet Witch. Would be the only thing that would be really scary for us. No, it's a Dagger. Dagger's going to move over. That is within Shang-Chi range as well. They have already moved their Jeff. And so since we skipped, we can do the Infinaut and the Titania and call it a day, right? They played Jeff here and moved it into the Superflow. Let's go ahead and lock this in. We should have the right lane very heavily locked in. The left lane, I think, is in our favor as well. A Heimdall. Magneto doesn't grab anything on our end. Could have been kind of scary, but since we don't have anything within that range, we are going to be able to win the left, the right, and grab the quick and easy 8 cubes, which is a great contrast to last game when it was a struggle all the way through to the very end. All right, so they go Kraven in the right lane. We go Sunspot, hoping... I don't know what we were hoping for. But their Spider-Man does pull our Titania over. And since it wasn't played, Titania's not going to bounce anywhere. I think it's fine. We could do Magic into Vormir. We have to worry a little bit about like an Iron Fist in Martage, making their cards just bounce all across the board. Let's go Magic into Vormir, and then we'll see. So they do have Vulture that they're probably looking to Ghost Spider over into Kamartage next turn, I would imagine. And with Initiative, we're not going to be able to combat or stop that. We do get our She-Hulk. So it looks like we're just going to skip the next 2 turns, hope that our Sunspot is big enough in Kamartage, and then drop our other 2 in Sakaar. Or tentative line. Super boring line. It's a possibility. They do go with Beast. They bounce Titania back into their deck, along with the Spider-Man, which is kind of scary. Every time I've let the game continue, we've gotten just plastered and demolished. So Silk and then Spider-Man, it's not going to grab anything from us. It does bounce over into the Kraven lane, and Silk does as well, buffing up the Kraven, which is just not what we wanted to see here. Not what we wanted to see in the least. We're not going to overthink it. We have plenty of health to leverage. So 2 cards. The Cloak. I don't even remember what we played in this lane. She-Hulk. So we win mid. I think we win left as well. Okay. So that's the main reason Legion is in the deck. So you can do those surprising plays that the opponent is not going to be anticipating. And by doing that, we were able to finally secure the win against Kinto. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys as always for being here. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and a comment down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.